The fry tanks are clean, stripped, and back in. Let's get part 4 of the fry rack upgrade underway. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to Hood's Fishies. As you would have seen from part 3 of the fry rack upgrade, we stripped the paint and we started taking out the calcium. You would have seen from the update, we've had a few sort of setbacks and stuff, but we've still kept going. Tanks are great. Look, super clean. We asked you guys whether we thought we should paint them or not. In the end it was sort of a tie, it was a 50-50. The missus had veto power and she decided they shouldn't get painted. She thought they'd be brighter if they didn't. We'll see. So, they're in, they're cleaned. First things first, let's cut the black mats to go between, just for padding, and then we'll move on from there. Let's go. Right, so down here is the black matting that I want to use. So let's get out the packet and have a quick look at it. Boom. So we just want to work with one to begin with. It's got a nice clean edge down here and another nice clean edge down here. However, if you look down here, there is this jaggedy edge. So the first thing I want to do is cut down this jaggedy edge and see if we can't get it nice and clean. Then we'll see how it fits in between these tanks, just to provide a bit of padding between them. So if there is any flex or tilt or whatever, or anything that goes on just when they're filled up, there's this padding in between them. So let's give that a go. Boom. One side done easy. Let's do the other. Perfect. Nice and clean. Let's see how they fit between the tanks. Alright, so this one fits perfectly between the tanks, but it's this much too tall. Just about the amount of this nice clean edge divider they give us. So I'm going to pull that off, cut the segmented jigsaw pieces that allow them to fit together, and then we'll check it again. Sweet, so let's see how this goes. And boom, fits perfect. Let's do the other three. Sweet, and they're in. Let's shift these tanks so they all fit together and let's see how it looks. they're fitted and they're in. Some of you might be wondering why I've got this hose on top of the tanks. You might have remembered from part 1, all my air hoses were all over the place because I set this up 13 odd years ago and I was younger and I rushed things, basically. So what I want to do this time is to tidy things up. I want to make a manifold to go on here just to make it a bit neater and tidier for the air. So let's get that going. So we're going to need a few things to make this manifold. First off, you want a piece of garden hose. Well, that's what I'm choosing to use as the main manifold. You want some airline. I just got this off eBay. It's just cheap stuff, but I try and choose the flexible stuff. The hard plasticky stuff goes hard after a while and it's pretty hard to work with, but I find this rubberized stuff works a lot better and lasts a lot longer. Now you'd remember from when we did that Bunnings trip a few weeks back, we went and bought plugs, straight throughs, and taps. All of that should allow us to make the manifold that can sit on here and just tidy up all our air feeds. It will also help to regulate the pressure across the 4 tanks, and it'll just solve a lot of problems as well as tidying everything up. So let's get this made. First things first, I want to plug each end. So we take these plugs, they fit perfectly in your garden hose. I know that technically you buy these for your retic, PVC retic, but look, it fits perfectly in garden hose. They are interchangeable. So boom, we've plugged both ends. Now, I want to run 2 feed lines from up here on the roof where I run the air around down to here to fill the manifold. So I want air coming in from both sides, just so it's got regulated pressure across the whole way, and then we'll have all our feed lines coming out from that. So we'll take 2 of these screw-in straight line connectors, and I want to put them on the ends, as close to the ends as possible. So we're feeding the air in from there, and then all our lines come off that. Now with these, they've actually got a point and a thread, and I find you don't actually have to puncture a hole first. You can quite literally just press and twist until it makes a hole, and then you just literally screw it into the hole you've just punched. So we'll put that down here and up here. You can see, there is our first straight line in feed. Let's do one on the other side. So I'm choosing this piece of hose, luckily, has a nice white strip down it, so I'm choosing to line up, use that white strip to line up all of my connections just to help keep it neat. There you go. Our 2 in feeds are now in. Now I'm just going to check spacing for where we want to put our in feeds for the taps to go. So we can probably go just after that for each of the end ones, and then we'll go about a foot, maybe a foot and a half away from that for each of the other ones. So what I want to do is, you could technically throw these taps straight in, but I find that can be a bit annoying and difficult to reach to, so I want to put the 4 straight lines in that will be out feeds. We'll put a small line of the air hose to the tap, and then we'll run our lines to the filters from that. So we'll get out 4 more of the inlines. And let's chuck them in. So we want to be about, I'd say about 1 inch away for our first outfeed. And same distance again for the other outfeed, if I don't drop everything along the way. Okay, first 2 in feeds, first 2 out feeds. Let's do the last 2 out feeds. So basically we've got yay, yay. So we probably want to put our out feeds about there, and then we should be golden. Okay, let's put this last one in. And they're in. So that basically is our manifold. However, now if we can have air lines, there'll just be air shooting out. So what I want to do is cut maybe 2-3 inches of line, run our taps, and then I'd say our manifold's pretty much done till we're ready to set up these tanks. So let's do that. So there's our 4 little feed lines. We literally just run them onto the connections we've just put on. There's our 4 feed lines for the 4 tanks. Now, we can add our 4 taps. Now, I've never used these taps before. I normally use these black taps. Do I have one around to show? Yeah, so I don't know if you can see there, but I normally use these black taps, like over here. I've never used these ones before, but retic taps have never let me down for airlines before, so fingers crossed. Let's see how this goes. And there you go. There's our manifold. It is literally that easy to make an airline manifold on the go, to tidy up your airlines, regulate your airflow, and just make everything so much easier and neater. Now that that's done, how about I bring in the lights, get that on there, and then we'll see how everything looks. So there you go, guys. We've changed out the boards. We've put in fresh foam, new marine ply, it's been water treated. We've scrubbed, stripped, cleaned these tanks. We've put in these new, nice black rubber dividers. Top glass has been cleaned, lights are back in. We've made a manifold. We are ready to get these fry back in. Thank you so much for following on. This has been part 4. Come back for part 5 when we get these fry back in here and set everything back up. Cheers, guys. Catch you next time on the next episode of Hood's Fishies.